All right. So I call to order this regular meeting of the Township Committee of the Township of Morris this Wednesday, September 20th, 2023. The time is now 7 p.m. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, and adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required by law. Specifically, notice of this meeting was emailed to the Daily Record and the Morris Newsbee on January 5th, 2023, and posted on the Township of Morris website. The agenda and resolutions for the meeting are available at www.morristwp.com under the Agenda Center. Certain portions of this meeting may be closed to the public for the purpose of personnel and/or other matters as outlined in the state's Sunshine Law. Notice to members of the governing body and township staff, any use of electronic devices during this meeting shall be used solely for the purposes of township business, and any communications are subject to the Open Public Records Act. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Grayzel.
Here.
Ms. Guariglia.
Here.
Mr. Ravitz.
Here.
Ms. Wilson.
Here.
Mayor Gyorfy.
Here. If everyone could please rise for the presentation of the colors.
Mark on. Up. Left. Face. Present. Arms.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms. Forward. Arms. Parade. Rest.
Thank you, everyone. You may be seated. I'm going to turn it over to Chief Shear, and joining Chief Shear from the Township Committee this evening will be our members of our Police Standing Committee, Deputy Mayor Wilson and Committeeman Grayzel. Chief Shear, over to you.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Seeing such a great turnout is just really awesome. I know super special for these officers, and I just never thought I'd have this many people come just to hear me speak. So, but normally we have these nice long bios, but just we're so lucky to have so many people here today that I really pared them down because I know as much as I like to hear myself talk, I'm probably the only one. So the first officer we'd like to recognize tonight is Sergeant Kroll, will be promoted to Lieutenant Justin Kroll. Can you please join me up here? And I use the word exhaustively thorough because we used to work on a squad to get every call I was at. So now being the chief of police, I really appreciate that thoroughness that he's always shown here. This thoroughness has led him to being placed in charge of the Detective Bureau. He's in charge of leading some of the department's most serious and intricate cases. His abilities were most clearly shown in the dismantling of a ring that was targeting postal collection boxes in not only our town, but surrounding towns as well. Currently, Lieutenant Kroll serves as a firearms instructor, rifle instructor, and the department's first and only taser instructor. Morris Township is still one of the few agencies with a taser program that Lieutenant Kroll specifically implemented and oversees. Mayor Gyorfy and Township Committee, I proudly present to you Lieutenant Kroll. Who do you want to come up and
Pin on first before swearing in. Yes.
Pin first.
I think you can do it right now and then you swear in.
Pin first.
No, right here.
Oh, yeah. Class.
You, Justin Kroll, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and will bear faith and allegiance to same, and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, so help you God?
I do.
Repeat after me. I, Justin Kroll,
I, Justin Kroll,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties of lieutenant
perform all the duties of lieutenant
of the Township of Morris Police Department
of the Township of Morris Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. We're gonna alternate.
Lieutenant Dombrowski? Lieutenant Robert Dombrowski graduated from the Morris County Police Academy in 2013. Upon graduation, began his work here in Morris Township. Lieutenant Dombrowski has worn many hats here in Morris Township, including patrol officer, detective, where he was known for his ability to gain confessions. And if you've ever had conversations with Robert here, you can see why people give confessions. There's days I feel like I'm ready to give a confession, just has an ability to talk to anybody he encounters. And it just really showcases every day that he's out on the road interacting with people. But I really think that he's found his place here as a leader, and especially a leader of his squad. His ability to counsel and mentor members of his squad and really get them to kind of believe in the mission and go out there and serve our residents to the best of their ability every day has really been great to see his leadership qualities shown in day in and day out. And as a result of that, he was placed in charge of our FTO program, and he's personally responsible to ensure that all of our new officers have all the tools they need to be able to serve the town safely and effectively. Mayor Gyorfy and Township Committee, I proudly present to you Lieutenant Robert Dombrowski.
Do you, Robert Dombrowski, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and will bear faith and allegiance to same, and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, repeat after me. I, Robert Dombrowski,
I, Robert Dombrowski,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties of lieutenant
perform all the duties of lieutenant
of the Township of Morris Police Department
of the Township of Morris Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Come on, Cat.
No pressure.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, bud. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Lieutenant Farrell? Lieutenant Ryan Farrell, he's actually the first officer that I did a background on. So I now know that I'm starting to get old, as people I have done background on when I was a detective are now coming lieutenant. And I can tell you from that day of doing his background, driving to his family's home, I was so excited to see this officer come here and work. And he is not disappointed a day that he's been here. He's a 2011 graduate of the Essex County Public Safety Training Academy, and he holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology from East Stroudsburg. As I had said, Lieutenant Farrell has been an invaluable member of this agency since he was hired in 2011. He has led the department in DWI arrest, has been a member of the Detective Bureau, has been honored as Officer of the Year, and his list of accolades go on and on. However, his greatest impact has been as a sergeant, and that came to light when we were interviewing him for this position, and you could see just the passion he had in training officers and has implemented new training programs for our use of force and our vehicular pursuit. And I look forward to him continuing on with those roles as lieutenant. Mayor Gyorfy and Township Council, I proudly present to you Lieutenant Ryan Farrell.
Congratulations.
Do you, Ryan Farrell, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and will bear faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, so help you God?
I do.
All right, repeat after me, please. I, Ryan Farrell,
I, Ryan Farrell,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties of lieutenant
perform all the duties of lieutenant
of the Township Morris Police Department
of the Township of Morris Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a good reminder. He's never shy about bringing that training back to us, and he's in charge of our active threat training and all of our tactical training to make sure our officers are well equipped and ready to respond to some of the most horrible incidents we could possibly have to respond to as an agency. As a sergeant, I really look forward to him continuing on with that and building out those programs for us to be the best trained agency in not only the county, but also the state. Mayor Gyorfy and Township Committee, I proudly present to you Sergeant John Whitney Burke.
You, John Burke, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and will have faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, repeat after me. I, John Burke,
I, John Burke,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties of sergeant
perform all the duties of sergeant
of the Township of Morris Police Department
of the Township of Morris Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Sergeant.
Congratulations. Continue.
Sergeant Ribnicki. Sergeant Robert Ribnicki began his law enforcement career in 2006 at the Morris County Communications Center as a communications officer. In 2014, Sergeant Ribnicki was hired by the Livingston Police Department as a communications officer, and in 2016, he was hired as a probationary police officer and was sent to the Essex County Public Safety Training Academy, graduating in June of 2016. In 2018, Sergeant Ribnicki joined the Morris Township Police Department. Sergeant Ribnicki immediately became our traffic officer, our CPU officer, an FTO officer, our Title IX expert, and we kind of came up with a saying around Morris Township, and it was, have Ribnicki do it, because he was one he's always taking on more tasks and always gave his full effort and time into anything that we asked him to do. He truly is our Swiss Army knife in Morris Township, and we couldn't be more happy to have him with us and really look forward to what he does as a sergeant and pushing that and passing down that passion and that work ethic down to all the other officers who see what he brings in and day out. Mayor Gyorfy and Township Committee, I proudly present to you guys Sergeant Robert Ribnicki.
Congratulations.
You, Robert Ribnicki, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and will bear faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, so help you God?
I do.
And repeat after me. I, Robert Ribnicki,
I, Robert Ribnicki,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties of sergeant
perform all the duties of sergeant
of the Township of Morris Police Department
of the Township of Morris Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Sergeant.
Congratulations. I think sign first.
Congratulations.
Before I call up this next officer, so the first thing I was able to do as chief, the first thing you have to do is you have to hire somebody. You have to hire somebody to replace, the people that left. So I remember these two officers from the interviews, and I couldn't have been more excited that the first thing that I could do as chief of police was hire these two officers. And in their short time here, they've certainly, made that excitement turn into, making me think I have a real eye for talent when it comes to police officers. So first up, if we could have officers Kevin Smith Jr., please come up. Patrolman Kevin Smith Jr. was hired by this agency in January of this year. Upon being hired, Officer Smith Jr. entered the Morris County Police Academy's basic police recruit class and graduated on June 1st of 2023. Patrolman Smith grew up in Roxbury in a law enforcement family where he graduated from Roxbury High School. Shortly after, Officer Smith began his service in the military with the Marine Corps Reserve and served from 2012 until 2020. I really look forward to the great work that Patrolman Smith will do in this community. And he's somebody that leaves a lasting impression for anyone that has ever shaken his hand. So if you do that tonight, you have to be prepared for a nice firm handshake. As I jokingly say, he's our old school officer and the next officer is kind of our new school officer. So Mayor Gyorfy and Township Committee, I proudly present to you Officer Kevin Smith Jr.
Do you, Kevin Smith Jr., solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and will bear faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, repeat after me. I, Kevin Smith Jr.,
I, Kevin Smith Jr.,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties of patrolman
perform all the duties of patrolman
of the Township of Morris Police Department
of the Township of Morris Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Officer Chanteria. The reason I say new school is Officer Chanteria he's worked with juveniles, he's done volunteer work overseas, and he was even a sommelier, which I had to look up to make sure I knew exactly what it meant. So he's done a little bit of everything prior to joining us. But Officer George Chanteria entered.
That you will support the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and bear faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, repeat after me. I, George Chanteria,
I, George Chanteria,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear,
that I will faithfully
impartially and justly,
perform all the duties of patrolman
perform all the duties of patrolman
of the Township of Morris Police Department
of the Township of Morris Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks.
Officer Macarico. So before I tell you a little bit about Officer Macarico, I just really want to thank everybody for coming out today. Families, showing the support here in public as you do in private day in and day out really means the world to me, and I know it means the world to these officers. And then seeing the continued support that we get from retired officers and officers from other agencies is not only special to me, but special for these officers celebrating this night here. So I really do thank you all for coming out. Officer Macarico. So Officer Macarico has always had a great ability to find intoxicated drivers. And dealing with intoxicating drivers is for a police officer is one of the most difficult things we do, because we're not dealing obviously with somebody that's in their normal frame of mind. And for 2022 and 2021, Officer Macarico showed his commitment to the safety of the township roads by removing the most intoxicated drivers for not only Morris Township, but for the entire county back-to-back years. He arrested 19 drivers in 2021 and 36 drivers in 2022. He prevented countless accidents, countless injuries, and we appreciate his commitment to the safety of the Morris Township residents while traveling on the roadway. Officer Macarico, I'm proud to present you with this top cop award from Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Police Committee, I turn it over to you guys.
Congratulations. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jeff Grayzel, and I'm the chairman of what we call the Police Standing Committee. Kathy Wilson is the vice chair of the committee, and we have oversight responsibility of the police department on behalf of our governing body. For those of you who are not familiar or so familiar with Morris Township, the form of government here is a township committee. Our residents elect 5 members that you see here on the dais, and they are seated along with our professional staff. We do not elect the mayor in our town, but rather the town council decides who will be the head of the council and get that title of mayor for the year. This year, our mayor is Mark Gyorfy, and prior to him, I was the mayor, and prior to me, Kathy Wilson was the mayor. I want to thank all of you for coming out tonight. It's a great showing. I'm especially glad to see so many children in the audience. You guys have been really well behaved, but you have 2 more minutes to pay attention to, okay? All right. So for those of you who have heard me speak before, I like to say that there are many elements that go into making Morris Township the special place that it is. There are too many to name them all, but here are a few. All the volunteers that are members of our numerous boards, commissions, and committees that the municipality has. The quality of the municipal staff in each and every department that provides great service to our residents every day. The volunteer coaches and supervisors of the many youth sports we have around town. The numerous parks we have throughout the community, and the incredible amount of open space that we are so lucky to have. And the list goes on and on. One last element I will add is the quality of our police department here in Morris Township. We are so grateful for the role you play in the community and the professionalism you all show on the job. The MAD Award that was just given to Patrolman Macarico is a great example of the work that the department does. On behalf of the entire Township Committee, tonight we are proud to celebrate the promotions and the MAD Award that just occurred, and we are honored that so many of you came out to celebrate this special occasion with us. We understand that being a police officer is a serious job, and that certain qualities are necessary for being a good officer. That is why we go through a rigorous hiring process and screening process when we hire new officers. The final stage of which is being interviewed by the members of the Oversight Committee from our governing body. Chief Shearer and the chiefs that preceded him have done a great job in their choices of hiring, and we see the fruits of this work this evening with the promotions that just took place. Lieutenant Farrell, Lieutenant Dombrowski, Lieutenant Crowell, Sergeant Ribnicki, Sergeant Burke, all of us on the Township Committee are proud of your accomplishments, and we congratulate you on the achievements of the higher rank you just received. Please continue to do the great work that got you to this point, and in your new position, please be a good role model for those underneath you. Each and every one of us needs to continue to learn and grow, and we hope each of you will continue with your own personal and professional growth in your new roles in the MTPD. Personally, I'm a big supporter of our police department and the importance that good policing has in our society in general. Over the years, I have made comments from this dais in support of policing and the profession, as well as times when I've had to defend policing and fighting back against things like what people call defunding the police. Policing plays a hugely important role in our society and in our community, and that is not going away. But we rely on all of you to uphold all the duties, roles, and responsibilities that make the exceptional work that we do policing here in Morris Township. Additionally, I understand that each and every day that you come to work, you come not knowing what might be before you that day. It might be months or years before you might come upon a difficult situation, but you need to be prepared every single second of every day that you are on duty. It is not an easy job to be ready each and every day, and we all appreciate all of that you do to protect us here in the community to the best of your abilities, and we thank you for that. Lastly, to our new officers, Patrolman Smith and Patrolman Chanteria, welcome to our community. Morris Township is a special place that I said before, and I'm hopeful that you will contribute to making it even better. As I stated earlier, our police officers play an important role here. Even though you don't live here, please try to make it your own community. Get to know our residents by stopping your patrol car and getting out to say hello. Stop at baseball games, groups taking walks on the street, or any other gathering that you might come across. It's important to foster trust between the department and the community, and these personal interactions are very helpful to forming that trust. Always remember that we all have good days and bad days. Some of the people you might pull over may just be having a bad day and are not really a bad person. Use your best judgment when making those stops, and always be both courteous and compassionate when coming across those tougher situations you might find yourself in, while also maintaining the authority you have.
And welcome aboard to Patrolman Smith and Patrolman Centuria. I did get everyone, right? Also, I'd like to say special thanks and congratulations to Patrolman Macarico for earning the Mothers Against Drunk Driving Award. This is a tremendous contribution on your part to supporting the public safety in our community. It is staggering to think of the number of people who make the choice to drive while under the influence. I put this in the category of a society at large problem that's been around for decades and unfortunately is very resistant to change. I don't have to tell you that. Until we figure out how to prevent people from making this choice in the first place, the enforcement that you're providing is absolutely vital. We join Mothers Against Drunk Drivers in thanking you for your role in protecting the safety of our community and for doing it so well. Congratulations to everyone who was recognized and honored, promoted tonight. Thank you for your service. Thank you everyone for coming out. And we appreciate you all being here. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Scheer, Deputy Mayor Wilson, and Committeeman Grayzel. Did you have any final words, Chief?
No.
All right. We do have a full agenda, and I know everyone's really looking forward to getting to our ordinances and resolutions for tonight. But before that, we will. So right now, we'll have a brief 5-minute recess. We'll allow everyone to celebrate. Thank you again for being here. Congratulations to all of our officers who are recognized. Congratulations to your families and friends. And if you all would please rise as we retire the colors.
Order, arms, right, face, forward, march.
Thank you. We'll reconvene in 5 minutes. To order
This meeting is being recorded.
I call back to order this regular meeting of the Township Committee of the Township of Morris this Wednesday, September 20th, 2023. The time is now 7:47 p.m. Thank you everyone who is sticking with us here in person and those on Zoom. Next on our agenda are proclamations. This month we are recognizing September as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, Ovarian Cancer Month, and Prostate Cancer Month. We don't have any presentations for these proclamations. They will be shared with various groups and organizations after the fact, and we appreciate those who've reached out to us asking for support, and we'll ask the members of the committee to provide remarks during their committee commentary. With that, we will move to our first public comment and inquiry period. We currently have 3 members of the public joining us on Zoom. At this time, we'll take comments from in-person attendees first and then switch over to those joining us virtually. If you are virtual, please raise your hand in Zoom to indicate that you'd like to speak. Please state your name and address for the record before speaking. Please note that comments are limited to 5 minutes per speaker. If you have questions that you would like answered, your remaining time to speak will be yielded back for this purpose. May I please have a motion to open our first public comment period?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So anyone in person wishing to speak, please come up to the podium. And anyone joining us online, please raise your hand. Seeing none in person and online, I will ask, is there a motion to close the first public comment period?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I will now turn it over to Deputy Mayor Ravitz, as we do have to make a minor modification to an ordinance introduced last month. We have to make a correction, and in full transparency, this is related to the Jones Woods ordinance. We all voted unanimously to approve the introduction of this ordinance. After the fact, I was noticed of living within 200 feet of the zones that are involved in the ordinance, so I have to recuse myself. So we will be rescinding that ordinance and then reintroducing it so I can recuse. So I will turn it over to Deputy Mayor Ravitz, since I will be recusing myself, to manage the ordinance introduction by passing a resolution rescinding the first ordinance.
So, Deputy Mayor, so Resolution 229-23 is a resolution of Township of Morris repealing the introduction of the ordinance. And we're going to be pulling that resolution out of order so we can reintroduce the ordinance under another number.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to do that? To pull 229, 229, what was the number?
Deputy Mayor's asking for a motion to pull Resolution 229-23 and vote on it out of order.
Recorded.
So those who in person and online, Zoom, it appears to be on Zoom side, not on our, not here in person. So our techs in the media room are working to try to do the best they can to ensure those joining us remotely can still participate. And to do that, when we're going to randomly hear this meeting is being recorded because the Zoom's going to be restarting. So apologies for those joining us remotely. We know there's issues. And as of now, we think they're on Zoom's end. So to go back, I will be recusing myself from ordinance 23-23 since I have residency within 200 feet of the property being rezoned. And Deputy Mayor Ravitz will be managing that. With that, I will ask our Madam Clerk to please read the title of ordinance 19-23 into the record for us.
Ordinance 19-23, an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Morris to control and regulate littering so as to protect public health, safety, and general welfare in the Township of Morris, County of Morris, State of New Jersey. Note, stormwater management regulation requirements.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. May I please have a motion to introduce ordinance 19-23?
So moved.
Second.
Any items for discussion or questions from the committee?
I have one question.
Go ahead.
This is coming from stormwater management regulation per DEP regulation or new rules. Can you give a little background on where this is coming from?
Yes, ma'am. DEP has come out with new stormwater regulations that have to be adopted by 2026, and this is part of it, is to include a ordinance that deals with littering.
And we'll have a few other things along the way, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is sort of the first.
First one.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Wilson. With that, may I please have Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call?
Mr. Ravitz,
Yes.
Ms. Griglia,
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Gyorfy.
Yes. The public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 19-23 will be held at our next regular Township Committee meeting on Wednesday, October 18th, 2023 at 7 p.m. here in the Municipal Building. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance number 20-23 into the record.
Ordinance 20-23, an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Morris, amending Chapter 577, Massage and Body Work Establishments. Note, amending Health Code for massage business regulations.
I'll ask Mr. Quinn or Mr. Cantor to provide some more background on this for the public's benefit.
So we had a ordinance that is in our health code that manages massage places. Now that we are starting to see other ones that are coming in like franchises. Our health administrator, Liz Zami, had reviewed our current ordinance and it needed some updates. The first one was originally passed in 2009. So do some changes and some duplication with state regulations. Mr. Cantor his staff worked with Ms. Zami, and they came up with some recommended changes to the ordinance so that we are compliant and following the state statute.
Thank you, Mr. Quinn. Before we have any questions from the committee, may I please have a motion to introduce ordinance 20-23?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any questions or discussion points from the committee? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Ravitz,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel,
Yes.
Ms. Guariglia,
Yes.
Mayor Gyorfy.
Yes. The public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 20-23 will be held at our next regular Township Committee meeting on Wednesday, October 18, 2023 at 7 p.m. Madam Clerk, please read the title of ordinance number 21-23 into the record.
Ordinance 21-23, amending Chapter 216-3 of the Code of the Township of Morris entitled Construction Codes, Uniform Fees. Note, fee increase.
Thank you. May I please have a motion to introduce ordinance 21-23?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions from the committee before we vote to introduce? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Ravitz,
Yes.
Ms. Guariglia,
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Gyorfy.
Yes. The public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 21-23 will be held at our next regular Township Committee meeting on Wednesday, October 18, 2023 at 7 p.m. Madam Clerk, if you could please read into the record the title of ordinance number 22-23.
Ordinance 22-23, an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Morris establishing an electric and/or natural gas aggregation program. Note, required for participation in energy aggregation program.
May I please have a motion to introduce ordinance 22-23?
So moved.
Second.
Any question or discussion from the committee? Deputy Mayor Wilson?
Yes, I just wanted to note for the benefit of the public, someone called me today and the text of the ordinance that is online right now was as of last night, and we did make a slight change to on page 1, point number 2. There was a slight change there, so that new text will be posted, correct?
Correct.
Anyway, it was a slight change from will to may, which does make a difference. And I just wanted to highlight for the public that that will be posted as corrected, and it was amended today.
Absolutely.
It is, I think.
It is up there
posted,
now?
Yeah.
Okay. The call I got was about 3 o'clock.
It was probably about 4.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions from the committee or comments? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, if you please call the roll.
Mr. Ravitz,
Yes.
Ms. Guariglia,
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Gyorfy.
Yes, the public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 22-23 will be held at the next regular Township Committee meeting on Wednesday, October 18, 2023 at 7 p.m. And with the bright highlights on my script, I will turn it over to Deputy Mayor Ravitz to handle ordinance 23-23, which I will be recusing myself from.
Thank you, Mayor. Madam Clerk, please read the title of the ordinance 23-23 into the record.
Ordinance 23-23, ordinance of the Township of Morris, Morris County, New Jersey, amending Chapter 95, Article 2, Section 6, zoning map of the Township of Morris to redesignate several RH5 zoned properties to OS-GU in the Code of the Township of Morris. Note, Township property, Jones Woods.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. May I have a motion to introduce ordinance number 23-23?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions on this ordinance? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call?
Ms. Guariglia,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel,
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz.
Yes.
Mayor Gyorfy.
The public hearing and final consideration adoption of ordinance number 23-23 will be held at the next regular Township Committee meeting on Wednesday, October 18th, 2023 at 7:30 PM. Mayor?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Ravitz. Mr. Quinn, can you also clarify just the point that this has to go to planning board for courtesy review too, and how that's also impacting the timing?
Yes, sir. Whenever we do a zoning ordinance, it has to go back to the planning board, and they review it with the professionals and to see if it's. This is in reference to some of those funds come out of the current fund. As we are getting ready to go out to bid for the Southgate Parkway project, we want to ensure we have enough funds for the project since we've seen a significant increase in construction costs over the past year. This does not increase any additional debt, just reallocates funding that was in that ordinance back in 2022. We're going to drop one project and add additional funds into the project to ensure we have enough money for the Southgate Parkway project.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Quinn. Before we get to questions or comments, may I please have a motion to introduce ordinance 24-23?
So moved.
Any comments or questions from the committee? I would just comment that I'm happy that we're being proactive about this to make sure this project is getting done in a timely manner. It's a big project, and I know Deputy Mayor Wilson and Committeeman Grayzel have been advocating for this project for a long time. So I'm happy that Mr. Quinn and the professionals in the engineering department are being proactive on this to make sure we're getting this done in a reasonable time frame. So thank you for that. Bid opening October 11th. Great. Thank you. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Ravitz,
Yes.
Ms. Grayzel,
Yes.
Ms. Guariglia,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Gyorfy.
Yes. The public hearing and final consideration and adoption of ordinance number 24-23 will be held at the next regular Township Committee meeting on Wednesday, October 18th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Moving on to our resolutions for the evening. We have 18 resolutions on tonight's agenda. Once again, I will be, I already recused myself from 29-23. So I will just ask for, we have a motion to approve resolutions 212-23 through 228-23 by one motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of approving these resolutions through one motion? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call?
Mr. Ravitz,
Yes.
Ms. Guariglia,
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Mayor Gyorfy.
Yes.
And may I have a motion to approve resolution
No, we
number?
already did that. That was from
Oh, that's
before.
right, from before. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
No problem. Moving on to our consent calendar. We have 2 items on the consent calendar this evening. May I please have a motion to approve these items for our September meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Consideration of monthly reports. We have received reports for this meeting from July 2023 for police, fire, and the joint municipal library. And we also have our August 2023 reports from the tax collector and the joint court. May I please have a motion to approve these monthly reports?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Claims for payment. The total amount of bills and vouchers for this meeting is $9,670,218.38. For those joining us joining us tonight, as a reminder, we're also the tax collector for the school district, the library, and the county of Morris. May I please have a motion to approve the list of bills and vouchers?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Guariglia,
Yes.
Mr. Grayzel,
Yes.
Mr. Ravitz,
Yes.
Mayor Gyorfy.
Yes. At this time, we'll move into our standing committee reports and general commentary, which will be provided by each member of the Township Committee. And I will first recognize Committeewoman Guariglia.
Thank you, Mayor. On standing committee reports on the Economic Development Advisory Committee, you can all now find the Madison Avenue corridor presentation that was done by the chair, Liam Gallagher. It's now up on the website. So if you weren't able to be here for it, you should go take a look at it. We had the Lidl opening at the marketplace. They did a really good job. And if you haven't been by yet, you should stop in and see what that is going to bring to the area. It's been very busy so far. We're also continuing to work on a brochure for Morris Township that'll list all the businesses and opportunities for residents. And we're continuing our efforts to establish community relationships with all of our Morris Township businesses. On the Transportation Advisory Committee, we've wrapped up our Morris Township in Motion. We've completed the adult portion of that. We will be doing on October 21st for 5 and 10-year-olds a Morris Township Kids in Motion, which is run along with TAC as part of the mayor's wellness campaign, the Morris Township Bike Safety Rodeo. This is also there's a flyer out, there's a QR code that you can register. It's up on the website, and we're distributing that through the schools and to all other organizations like Boys and Girl Scouts to try to get as many kids as we can there. It will, we realize in doing that, we save kids, make safe communities, and there will be a helmet safety check, a balancing station, road and obstacle course, sign recognition and sidewalk rules. And our own committeeman, Jeff Grayzel, will be the first one to do the course. So we're hoping he gets through it without a problem.
Thanks for nominating me.
We will be providing a bike route for those who want to ride to the event as a family to the Common Station parking lot. We'll provide that so that people can, if they want to not drive their cars, they can get their family together and take a ride over. One of the other things, we took the ribbon cutting at Tikva Way and Sussex Avenue. Rabbi Herson and the community came out to support and thank the township for completing the Sussex Avenue sidewalk project. We are providing safer access for all residents with this new sidewalk, and it created a more comprehensive connection around this part of town. We'll also be looking at the complete streets policy. TAC will review that after the professionals present it to us in October. And I just want to mention too that I stopped by the Morris Muse Senior Picnic, and it was nice to see the collaboration between our Parks and Rec staff. Our health department was giving out flu shots, and the support of not only the township committee members, but also our administration showing up and participating with our seniors. As far as my commentary, it's pretty short. Just wanted to mention it is Constitution Week. We celebrate the history, importance, and bring attention to how it serves us all. There are many rights and responsibilities we all have to adhere to. By doing so, we all get to enjoy the benefits of being a U.S. citizen, which leads me to my last comment for the township. I want to talk a little bit about the Laura Wooten law. It's September. Everybody's just gone back to school. She was the longest continuously serving U.S. poll worker. And since 2022-23, the Board of Ed is required to provide a course study in civics at the appropriate grade level. Starting in middle school, 6th to 8th grade students must have 1 full semester of civics. The course addresses the values and principles underlying the American system of constitutional democracy, the function and limitations of government, and the role of a citizen in a democratic society. There are also curricular guidelines for high school senior social studies classes. Our primary responsibility on the Township Committee is to ensure our residents are well informed and we reflect the values and concerns you bring to our attention. If you have a middle school or high school child, please consider coming to one of our Township meetings. Exposing young people face-to-face to experience their local government in action may spur some of them to become future leaders, or at the very least, critical thinkers in shaping not only the future of their local community, but our country as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Committeewoman Guariglia. Committeeman Grayzel.
Thank you very much. I have 3 standing committee reports to make. The first is for engineering. Walnut Street reconstruction was supposed to commence. The Shared Services Committee that has oversight over the joint court. I forgot to mention last month, so I'm going to do so now, that as the public may know, we have a joint court that's very successful with the towns of Madison, Chatham Township, Chatham Borough. The four of us have a joint municipal court that we share in Madison. The court administrator for the joint court that has been in the position for many years. Tim, how long has Dawn been there? 6, 7 years?
No.
Even longer?
Yeah, going back to 2009 when the court was first created.
Well,
She worked for Frank.
she worked for Frank, though.
and
She was the
She
assistant.
was the assistant, and
Right.
then for about 5 years, she's
Yeah,
been the
she's been about 5
administrator.
years. She's
Right,
been
but
the,
with the court for about 15 years before that.
okay. But she's been the administrator for about
About
5
years.
and she is moving on to a new position with the Morris County court system, correct?
That is correct, sir.
Very good. So we wish her well in her new position and thank you for serving us so well in our joint court. And we are glad to welcome Brianna Diamond to the role of court administrator for the joint court. For my general commentary, I would like to comment on one of the things that we spoke about earlier tonight. We recognize September as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Nearly and suicide is a hard topic for some of us to discuss, but I think we must continue to raise awareness about this ongoing epidemic. So I'm glad we have it on our agenda tonight. Nearly 2/3 of all gun deaths in the United States are suicides, resulting in an average of 64 deaths a day. 64 a day. Most people who attempt suicide do not die unless they use a gun. Firearm suicide can be prevented, and one of the most effective things is disrupting access to a gun. When I first became mayor in 2019, I signed a pledge titled Mayors Against Illegal Guns. Mayor Gyorfy has done that as well with the organization Every Town. One responsibility of the pledge is to promote gun violence awareness. Everyone needs to know the role that guns play in the high rate of suicide in this country. Surely, if we had stricter gun acquisition laws across the entire country, we would see a reduction in suicides. Committeewoman Guariglia mentioned that last month we had the presentation from the chairman of EDACT. One thing I failed to do last month was to acknowledge Kathy Wilson for her work in initiating the project during her time representing the Township Committee on EDAC. So I wanted to do that tonight. She deserves some of the credit for moving this along to fruition. So thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
For the senior citizens listening into this meeting, there's going to be a senior citizens flu clinic tomorrow here at Town Hall, starting at 1 p.m. This Saturday, the Seeing Eye in Morris Township, right off of Washington Valley Road, will have an open house where you can learn what they do, tour the facility, and play with their puppies. You can sign up on the Seeing Eye website. And this concludes my remarks for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Committeeman Grayzel. Deputy Mayor for Public Outreach, Wilson.
Thank you. So for my standing committee reports, our senior committee's new website content is up and running. Our goal in creating this content was to assemble in one location easy access to the huge number of resources that already exist, either locally in our community or online, and that we believe will be useful in meeting the needs and interests of Morris Township's 6,800 residents age 60 or older. Content categories on the new web posting include transportation, housing, health, medical, social, recreational, educational, and other information such as volunteer opportunities and tech support resources. We are really proud of this content, and we invite you to explore it for yourself. To access, go to the homepage of the Township's website, click on Government, then scroll down Senior Citizens Advisory Committee, and that's where you'll find it. So enjoy. We're also continuing preparations for the focus group event that will take place on Tuesday, October 10th from 2 to 4 p.m. right here in Town Hall. This will be a great opportunity for people to meet in small groups and share ideas regarding the needs and interests of our seniors, as well as what can and is being done to address them. The focus groups are part 2 of CCAC's mission to explore the needs and interests of Morris Township seniors and recommend ways to address them. Part 1 was the survey we completed last spring. And by the way, if you're interested, you can view the survey results on the new website content that we just posted. On the focus groups, we'd like to hear from as many people as possible. Please sign up if you haven't already. To register, go to the homepage of the township's website, click on the news icon, and you'll find a registration form there. So we look forward to seeing you on October 10th. And for anyone who's interested, we invite you to join us at the next Seniors Committee meeting in person or by Zoom next Wednesday, September 27th at 3 p.m. here in Town Hall. On the environment, as always, our Environmental Commission has many initiatives in progress. I'm going to highlight two. Our EC's next big public outreach event is the Fall Festival. It's coming up on Sunday, October 1st from 12 to 5 p.m. in the green, on the green in Morristown. The booth will be stocked with some of the materials made possible through the Sustainable Jersey Grant, including a new banner and signs and the public debut of their new logo. Food waste is a theme they'll be adding to their conversations with people. Many concerns here, more questions than answers. The idea is to stir interest and awareness ahead of an activity they're planning for next year, a poster contest that EC member Jen Karsich will be leading with the kids in all of the schools in the town and the township. We'll have more information about that in the months ahead. And in the meantime, be sure to stop by their booth at the Fall Festival, October 1st. The second topic I'd like to highlight is our partnership with the Great Swamp, which continues to grow. The Great Swamp is interested in our Avoid Invasives, Plant Natives pledge. They included an article about it in their latest newsletter, and they're exploring other ways to spread the word among their membership as well. A new and particularly interesting development is that the Great Swamp is taking steps to develop what is likely to become a large grant-funded cleanup project of the Lewanika Brook. The project is of great interest to us as Lewanika Brook flows through Morris Township, very close to where we are right now. And it has been a source of increasing concern to residents whose homes back up to it. We will be monitoring this project closely as it develops. For anyone who's interested, the Great Swamp is offering a presentation entitled Water Quality in Lewanika Brook, which will take place at our local library in Morristown on Tuesday, September 26th at 6 p.m. For more information and to register, visit the Great Swamp's website. For my general comments, I'd like to say congratulations to Melissa Alderton on her promotion to Class 1 firefighter. Melissa is an amazing role model, and she's an inspiration to everyone. Congratulations to her on this well-deserved promotion, and thank you for serving our community so well. I'd also like to comment on Suicide Awareness Month, September. We've been marking this occasion now for the last several years. If you've ever known anyone who's taken their own life, as I have, it's a terrible, devastating tragedy for everyone. The numbers, the stats are staggering, and they're only getting worse. According to the CDC, 49,500 people took their own lives in 2022, the highest number ever recorded. Guns, like Mr. Grayzel was saying, play a huge role. More than 2/3 of all gun deaths are suicides, and more than half of all suicides involve guns. We also have an upcoming trip on October 4th. Not just to people who are members of the club. I think of these trips as a kind of hidden gem in our community. They're great opportunities that are underutilized because they're not well known. To find out more information about these trips, you can pick up hard copy of the brochure in the lobby right here in Town Hall, or you can attend a meeting of the Seniors Club, which takes place the first Tuesday of every month from 1 to 3 p.m. at Newbridge Church on Cadena Road. I'd love to see more seniors take advantage of these wonderful trip opportunities and consider joining the club as well. Even if you're not able to attend their meetings, becoming a member gets you on their mailing list. And it's a great way to learn about all of the different activities they sponsor, including the trips. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Wilson. Deputy Mayor Ravitz.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for your participation in our local community government. National politics may get all the spotlight, but it's typically what we do here locally that has the biggest impact on our biggest economic and quality of life, on our impact on our lives. Just going to give a brief update on Parks and Rec. I'd like to thank the entire Parks and Rec leadership team and the staff for another fantastic summer that was filled with fun events. Residents enjoyed concerts and movie nights at Ginty, Streeter, and Collinsville. Of course, there was always fun and sun at our pools. The new fall brochure is out. Please visit the Parks and Rec website for all the latest activity for all the people of all ages. To highlight a few coming up, Trunk or Treat and Halloween Movie Night is Saturday, October 28th. The Township Committee is actually going to be having a table at the Trunk or Treat this year. Begins at 3 p.m. on Dwyer Lane, and the film will be Scooby-Doo, which will begin at dusk next to the Dwyer Lane. Registration is required for anybody that's looking to give out candy, and I just want to caution that no homemade baked goods or any homemade goods are allowed. As Committeewoman Guariglia mentioned, we have the Bike Safety Rodeo on Saturday, October 21st from 2 to 4, and I heard that Mr. Grayzel is leading the charge on that one.
I heard that. That was news to me too.
Really?
And on to my commentary. I was honored to speak at the ribbon cutting ceremony for two of the township's newest stores, Lidl and Just Salads. Both are located at the Morris Marketplace on Hanover Avenue. Please do check them out if you've not already experienced these wonderful stores. Let's all support our local businesses, and we wish them a great success here in our town. As a reminder, every year is an election year in New Jersey and in Morris Township. I cannot stress enough the importance of voting, as it is one of our most fundamental rights and our civic duties as American citizens. Americans throughout our history have fought at home and abroad to defend our rights and our democracy. Let's honor their service to the American ideal by exercising our right to vote and have our voices heard. And here are some of the important dates to keep in mind for the 23 election. Vote by mail ballots are being mailed on September 23rd. It's always best to return your ballot as soon as possible so it doesn't get misplaced or forgotten. The last day to register to vote is October 17th. Sample ballots will be mailed on October 25th. Early in-person voting begins on October 28th and ends on November 4th. The deadline to apply for vote by mail ballot is October 31st. You can apply at the county clerk office or here at our township clerk office. And of course, election day is November 7th. And as always, I like to end my commentary with this. Let's not marginalize or demonize the people who have less political or economic power that some of us currently enjoy. Rather, let's face up to and stand up to those who continue to profit from our division. Equal rights for all citizens doesn't diminish the rights of any other citizens. We have more in common than should ever divide us, but we have to talk to and not at each other. Amplifying misinformation, hateful or violent rhetoric is not part of any civil society. And lastly, let's remember that as we go about our business each and every day, to just be kind to ourselves and kind to others. Kindness ripples. Hope you all had a great summer. I did. Looking forward to a great fall. Mayor?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Ravitz. For my standing committee reports, I did want to comment for Parks and Rec, which I sit on with Deputy Mayor Ravitz, to thank again the Parks and Rec staff for their fantastic programming they had throughout the summer. As Mr. Ravitz said, from the movie nights to the pool programming, recreation programming for daycare for kids and things like this. They do a tremendous amount of work all while doing all their other annual work and making sure our parks are up to speed on everything. So I really appreciate everything they do. We'll be hearing a recap from them of all their work they've been doing since in the spring and summer at tomorrow night's advisory committee meeting, which is here in Town Hall. And also tomorrow night, we'll be receiving an update, not during this meeting, but separately from our consultants for the Collinsville Playground project. They'll be giving us an updated timeline and site plan on the Collinsville Playground project. We're really excited to see it. And we're hoping that we can continue to move this process forward to reconstruct the Collinsville Playground. We are still waiting to hear back from the Department of Housing and Urban Development on our grant approval to get the federal funding to help pay for the project. We cannot start any work until HUD signs off on our environmental impact study. So we are still working with Congresswoman Cheryl's office to make inroads with HUD down in DC to make sure they have eyes on this application so we can get to work as soon as possible on the playground project. As mentioned before, we had a lot of engineering projects this summer and they continue into the fall. Mrs. Guariglia has talked about the Sussex Avenue sidewalk opening, which was a great opportunity for us to see all the hard work that the engineering department put together to make sure our residents have safe walking routes to Streeter Pool, Cornine Field, Patriots Path, and to the Rabbinical College and all the neighborhoods around. As you may have also seen on your way in, the Woodland Avenue sidewalk extension was completed, connecting Old Glen Road to here to Dwyer Lane. And the Walnut Street reconstruction project, which is hopefully bringing soon, as we mentioned, will also be bringing in additional sidewalks. So this just shows all the good work from the committee over years of funding to make Morris Township more walkable and pedestrian friendly and safe. And it's all really coming to fruition. They're really good things for the township. I sit on the Cannabis Advisory Committee with Deputy Mayor Ravitz, and we had our third advisory committee meeting last night, where we heard from an attorney in the cannabis who represents many towns across New Jersey when dealing with cannabis applicants. As we mentioned throughout the meetings, Morris Township's opted out, and when we opted out 2 years ago, we said we'd study the industry to see how it developed and to see if opting out is in the best interest of our residents. So we continue to do this due diligence. Our next two meetings are in October, and then we'll have a fifth meeting coming up later in October or in November for a public comment period. So those details will be provided on our website and posted online. For general comment, this is probably for the third month in a row, I'll talk about the veterans banners. Our applications have closed. The application period for our veterans banner initiative, the Hometown Heroes Project, has closed. We received close to 40 applications for veterans banners from family members, friends, neighbors, and our fire companies, many of our fire companies, to recognize resident veterans for their service. So we will next be working and with this resolution tonight, we'll be replacing 145 trees across the township with reasonably very well-sized trees from a local garden center who won the contract. So I'm pleased to see that moving forward. This is really not an investment now, it's an investment for the future so that our residents have ample shade, but it's also good for environment, obviously, as well, to help clean and purify our air. So I'm happy to see that move forward tonight. And I'm looking forward to see those trees in the ground this fall. Lastly, Hillside Hose Company, which I'm a member of, our annual Oktoberfest is Saturday, October 7th at Hillside Firehouse. We're very excited to welcome the community again. We had a brief pause during COVID. We had our return last year. We had a huge outpouring of support from our friends and neighbors, and we're looking forward to hosting everyone again in a few weeks. So really excited about that. With that, those are my reports and comments. So we will now move on to our second public comment and inquiry period. Currently, we have 4 members of the public joining us on Zoom, and we still have members of the public here in person. So if you do wish to speak, we'll take members of the public in person first, then switch over to Zoom. If you're on Zoom, please raise your virtual hand. If you're speaking, please state your name and address for the record before speaking. Please note that comments are limited to 5 minutes per speaker, and if you have questions that you'd like answered, your remaining time to speak will be yielded back. May I please have a motion to open the second public portion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone in person wishing to speak? Come on up. Yep, that'd be great. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Chris Komodikis. I live at 60 Picatinny Road. I am a past member of the Morris Minutemen, past president, past treasurer, and past EMT. I know several of you here. Thank you very much for having me. The purpose of my speaking here publicly is just to get my questions on the record and to understand a little bit more fully, as some of you explained a little bit earlier, what the purpose of the zoning change over in Jones Woods would be. So just for clarification's sake and nothing more. So I understand that the vote would be next month, correct?
Correct.
To transition 2 tracts of land from RH5 to OSGU, which is open space government use. When I did some research on it, I found that OSGU actually has maybe 10 or 12 different types of uses that could be anything from houses of worship to single family to multifamily dwellings to other types of governmental type of investments. Speaking a little earlier this evening to Mr. Ravitz, he said he introduced this zoning change as a means, as a stepping stone to eventually protecting this land completely. The intent would be to basically free it up from any development whatsoever. What sort of assurance is there at this juncture that taking it from RH5 to SGU to the following zoning, I can't remember what you had said, and what is it called?
The Rossi.
Rossi.
Rossi. How do you spell that?
ROSI.
Okay, ROSI.
Mr. Quinn can explain it.
Okay.
for sure.
So what sort of assurance is there that as we go from RH5 to OSGU, that we will eventually be going to Rossi?
On the 2 of those properties are already on the Rossi.
Mhm.
There's also a county piece that is in there that is also on the county Rossi. And then there's a piece that's also owned by Southeast Morris County Municipal Utilities Authority, which is the water tower and that equipment in there. What we're looking to do on these areas were originally for residential development. And to preserve the natural beauty of Jones Woods is to take these 3, make them so they are now OSGU, which it should be because it's owned by the township. And then for that remaining piece is to go before the State House Commission requesting that it put on the Registry of Open Space Inventory. And that protects it from any future development. If the township ever wanted to develop that in the future, they'd have to go back before the State House Commission to request relief. And usually what that relief would be, if we are protecting 10 acres, then we would have to find another 50 acres to replace that with. So there's heavy penalties or things that are tied to it that you just can't go in and change it without repercussions. So, but it's our desire to make that, permanently passive recreation.
Thank you very much.
I have one question.
Please.
Do we need a separate ordinance to put it on the Rossi? I mean, this ordinance changes everything to OSGU, but then a separate ordinance later?
No, we have
Or
to.
is it outside the ordinance?
It's outside the
process?
ordinance. I believe it's outside the State House Commission application.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure, but
the
it's,
process.
I don't believe it requires an ordinance.
Okay.
But I think it's an application, but well, it may. I'm sorry,
It may.
Yeah.
Not sure.
So this is first step 1 of the project.
Yes.
Thank you very much for all that information. I got a lot of it earlier, but it's nice to have it on the record as well. Also, I wanted to applaud the entire committee for what I just learned about was the Southgate Parkway project. I didn't know anything about it. So thank you for educating me. I think that's a great idea. More walking space is fantastic. I had once emailed Mayor Gyorfy about potentially throwing a sidewalk onto Picatinny Road, although I see that your priorities on Sussex are definitely higher. And there are only 3 homeowners on my side, or owners, so I'll be supportive of that in case you need. I don't know about the other two, but I'll be there for you. So thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else in person?
Hi,
Mr. Quillen?
George Quillen, 9 Barberry Road. I had a similar comment about the Southgate project. I think that sounds great to put a sidewalk in, to put in bike lanes, to reduce the road to 1 lane in each direction. And I'm really glad to see that project is going to move forward. And I was very glad to see the sidewalk that I walked in across on Woodland Avenue on this side of the street to get here tonight because I couldn't park anywhere near the municipal building when I got here at just about 7 o'clock. So it was great to be able to walk on a sidewalk to get to Town Hall. I did want to ask a question about Southgate, the Southgate project and the reallocation of funds. If I understood correctly, there is one smaller perhaps project that was unfunded or defunded in order to allow Southgate to move forward. And I wanted to know what that smaller project was.
Sure, and I'll just stay with the caveat too. For Southgate, we received state funding and we have a deadline that we have to meet of November to award the contract. So that's why we're doing it so quickly because we don't want to lose that state funding, but I'll turn it over to Mr. Quinn.
It's for the Elm Street pump station. That's a little street off of Sussex Avenue. There's a sewer pump station there that needs to be upgraded. So we're just going to move funding into it next year if this ordinance is needed. And when it goes out to bid, if it turns out that we don't need this additional funding or we think we're good, then we would just table this ordinance so that funding stays in place. But it's our intent to replace that funding for the Elm Street pump station improvements in the 2024 budget.
All right, thank you. Then I had a question and a comment about the process of getting, this is a totally different subject and it has to do with my change of address. So you may have noticed I now live on 9 Barberry Road. I previously lived on a different street.
The committee to vote on. I think it's another layer of protection as to the township's money. Whether or not it's required, I would have to do research to know. But I know it's been historically done here, so I'm sure that's why a resolution was on tonight for that.
Okay, I do think it would be more efficient to do it in a different way if it's possible, and it might reduce the pain on somebody in the future. You know, if instead of a $2,000 bond, it was a $50,000 bond, the fact that I had to wait an extra month would have been a little difficult. So, all right, thank you for looking into that. That was all I had. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Quillen. Any other members of the public in person wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll go over to Zoom and we'll recognize Mr. O'Reilly. I know we just rebooted, but hopefully we'll be able to, yep.
There, I unmuted. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I said James O'Reilly, 50 Independence Way. I guess you're aware that we've been cutting in and out. The screen freezes for a while, and then it comes back, or it goes through you, and then you see the shield, and then the screen comes back again, and it just happened. So I think I caught you saying that was going on earlier, but since it was cutting in and out at the time, I wasn't sure exactly what you had said. And I'm wondering, my question is, if we try to look at this in the recording later, will it freeze then, or did the recording go on while the live, it was freezing live?
The recording is through the same software as the video conference through Zoom. So it could possibly make the recording choppy, but I'm not sure if we have a duplicative recording through the computer as well. So we will have to find that out after the meeting.
Okay, I must have missed about half the meeting. Thank you.
Yes, then we apologize about that. From us, it appears to be a Zoom issue, but our techs, fortunately, we do have techs here tonight who have been rebooting it throughout the meeting, and we're just doing our best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Reilly. Mrs. Memmer. Mrs. Memmer, are you there? I don't think we're frozen because I'm not frozen on my computer yet. So we'll give it a few more seconds.
You're not frozen.
I'm not, thank you. So we'll give Mrs. Memmer a few more moments. I see, yep, she's going in and out. So we're not sure if this is on our end or on Mrs. Memmer's end. Mrs. Memmer, you always know you can give us a call or write to us and we can answer your questions if you're unable to speak right now. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure what the issue is. So I think we should move on and we'll give her a call tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Okay. Hearing none, is there a motion to close the second portion?
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Again, apologies to those joining us virtually for the issues. We will certainly be working with our IT department and consultants to rectify that and make sure it's not happening again for our next few meetings. But with that, all we have left is adjournment. The time is now 8:47 p.m. May I please have a motion to adjourn our regular session?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The next regular meeting of the Township Committee will be held on Wednesday, October 18th, 2023 at 7 p.m., both in person and on Zoom. Our closed session will start at 5 p.m. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a great night.